Welcome to the Cool Science Virtual Art Exhibition celebration for Kansas City and Topeka participants. High school honorees. Runner-up, Miroslava Vazquez.
Hello, I am Miroslava Vazquez. I am in grade 11. My hometown is Raytown, and the school that I go to is Raytown High. And this is my artist statement. How I address the challenge question of the cold air and hot air are very powerful weathers on Earth. What I'm trying to say in my artwork is that how extreme weather can change on Earth. What I hope people learn about my artwork is that extreme weather is not a joke. What I learned that weather on Earth can be peaceful, but can also change the way you live.
Runner-up, Katherine Minnette.
My name is Katherine Minnette. I'm a junior from Liberty, Missouri. I attend Liberty Senior High School. I chose the question, we all experience very strong storms. Where does the energy to make storms come from? Where does it go? I started off by researching this question. What I learned was that winter storms are formed from the clash of hot, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico and cold, dry air from Canada. What stood out to me was that the writer used the word clash. This heavily inspired my illustration. After sketching out ideas, I settled on showing this clash of air with two humanoid figures made of hot and cold air fighting. I hope my art informs people that the collision of hot and cold air causes storms.
Runner-up, Raquelle Perry.
I wanted to start my design from a technical point, but I wanted it to be simpler. I decided to show the hot and cold with different colored arrows. That way it's a bit easier to understand. I think most people know by now that tornadoes are created by high winds of hot and cold air, but some people don't. So without going super into detail, I think my design is short and sweet. I hope people, mostly kids, because I know that's kind of the focus, learn something new. I know growing up I used to always sit outside during a storm, even during tornado warnings. I just sit on the porch and watch the sky. I learned more than I knew before, especially that the reason tornadoes can continue to move for such long distances is because of the funnel that continues to move air and tear up the earth. I did watch a lot of videos and read a couple of articles about how tornadoes form, but I think really just the fact that I've always loved storms inspired me. A lot of times it would be a clear day and then out of nowhere it just rain, hail, or sometimes snow, but maybe that's just the way Missouri is.
Winner, Brooke Eastvold.
Hello, my name is Brooke Eastvold. I'm in the 10th grade. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, and I go to Liberty High School. In thinking about the extremes of each season, I decided to focus on spring with the growth and the bright colors. Spring is also one of the most beautiful seasons. Spring can also bring out some of the ugliest weather, including storms resulting in tornadoes. For my design, I wanted to show the both sides of the season, the quiet beauty, but also the scary power. I learned that spring is a common time when warm, moist air from the south meets cold, dry air from the north. And when swirled together just right, they can result in a rotation, causing a tornado. I hope that people will see my artwork and have a respect for the potentially extreme weather that can accompany the beauty of the season.
Winner, Jason Schuele.
Jason Schuele, grade 10, Liberty High School, Liberty, Missouri. For my design, I chose to answer the question, how do animals cool themselves down and what can we learn from that? I addressed this by showing the animal in question in the foreground and having a cool mist in the background, showing how cool it is becoming. I chose the animal, the kangaroo, because I find it interesting and inspiring that they lick themselves until their fur is soaking. They then let the saliva evaporate. Humans have a similar way of cooling down, sweating. Recently, I've learned of a robot who uses a similar system to cool itself down. So you can say we have learned how to cool down overheated machines through the evaporation of water. I chose the saying, kangaroos lick, humans sweat, water cools, as it is a very simple saying that conveys a lot about the design. For the design itself, I added a lot of bright colors and texture so it will be easier to notice from afar. I think the texture adds some character and makes it more pleasing to look at. I added leaves to help frame the text and add contrast.